Welcome back. It is 1559, last year of the decade, if you can believe it. And we are, let's see, where are we? Last year, Anne and Gareth got married. Um, Katerina has started making a move on her friend's fiance. Nicholas got engaged to Sibley and moved her into the house to help her. He now knows that she's psychic. So lots of stuff going on. This year, we have a few birthdays, not too many. Honestly, the sweating sickness took a lot of people out. And also, what is that down there? We're going to ignore it for now. Everything is fine. Um, so, anyway, this year, Queen Elizabeth becomes the queen. And supposedly, she, was a virgin queen or whatever. But, who knows what she was doing on the sly. Anyway, we have two babies that were born off camera. I can't get an 8 or a 16, so that is the new baby Gareth and the new baby Barnabas. I just thought that was a funny name. No 7, 14, or 19 for Richard II. Ooh, that was close. I am so glad, honestly, like that we're starting to have babies again. I love that. I love it when we start like building up the younger population again. Okay, Charles Heredia can get a 7 or a 13. Oh no, Charles. Let's go take a look at him. Charles. Oh, so he had the title. Okay, so I'm actually going to remove that because we're not doing that anymore. I just don't think that that's a good idea anymore. Okay, well, Charles Heredia. Oh my gosh. No way! You guys, remember? Okay, Isolde literally had 10 kids and not a single one of them survived. Like this, Charles has survived to childhood, and that's the oldest that a child got in this entire family. What bad luck they had. That is just awful. The whole Heredia family has had such bad luck. Like at least Gareth is like starting to do the thing, but oh my gosh, Charles, you did not make it. Let's see. Okay, our townies. What do we have? We have Wyman Whitehead becoming a young adult. I believe he's already married, so that's not a big deal. I should probably also start writing down who in the other families is available for marriage. Sibley is. Um, actually, it looks like that's it. So, well, anyway. All right, let's hop into the game. Alrighty, so here we are in our house, and we are going to start off with, where am I? A coronation, because Queen Elizabeth is becoming the queen now that Mary has died. So she is going to come up here and make a speech. She does not look happy. She's embarrassed, probably because she's cringe, but that's okay. She's probably okay, regardless of any feelings she may have had for her sister. I'm sure it's still like sad, and I'm sure it's still a hardship, unless she like was glad that her sister died and she got to take over. So who knows, really? But anyway, um, we are going to, have a deep conversation. We're going to hang out with her a little bit, spend some time talking to her, kind of getting the lay of the land, seeing where she's at, and all of that stuff. So, looks like Richard is going to include himself in this conversation. And now Katerina. So I'm sure Katerina and Elizabeth knew each other pretty well, considering Katerina was engaged to her brother for a time when they were younger. Maybe not so much as adults, but when they were younger, yeah. So yes, everyone is having a good time at the coronation. Most people are happy that the change has happened. I'm sure some people aren't, but yeah. So we're going to come home now. And it is the middle of the night, okay, and you're going to scream in his face. That's just great. And I was trying to think, too, about, like, what aspiration I should give Sibley. I'm sure you can see that I'm going to eventually include her in our family. But, yeah, so we're trying to think of what aspiration to give her. And I think I actually might try out one of the new aspirations because, we got the new pack. It might be fun to try that out. Of course, we'll pick the one that's like about romantic explorer, I believe. Yeah, because the other one is about having multiple partners, and I don't want that for her. So, yeah, this one is going to be like that. And she needs to go on a get to know you date, achieve level 2 of the romance skill, share chocolates 2 times, and use the romantic blanket 3 times. And I was like, where can I put this blanket exactly? so I'm just going to put it in front of like a fake fireplace in one of the bedrooms. And the reason for that fake fireplace is because you know it's going to catch on fire if we don't. So I'm just going to put it in here. And then, yeah, just put this like fake fireplace here. So let's see if we can't get them to snuggle on it. Very cute. So let's go snuggle. If you would, just come here to snuggle with each other. There we go. Okay. So yeah, they're just going to snuggle on the blanket. Very cute. Look at them. Oh, except my camera is always awful as per usual. Yes, they are so cute together. And you know, honestly, like I really do think the two of them are falling in love. Like even though that this arrangement was made regarding, you know, a different situation, he always had a crush on her, and I think that Florence saw that and put them together. So they're doing pretty well. And Katerina is just thinking about her life, contemplating life. And she is definitely thinking about how unfair it is that Elizabeth gets to marry a future king and she doesn't. She's already kind of tried to make Elizabeth a little doubtful of Amos, but that didn't really work. They're still engaged. They're still having a good time together. And so she's going to go. She also talked with Amos previously and tried to kind of instill some doubt in him. And she doesn't really feel like it's going her way. So she's going to invite him out. And, you know, just quote unquote as friends. I mean, they are friends. You can see that their friendship bar is up pretty high. So I'm just trying to check around this lot a little bit. But anyway, so they're going to hang out and she's going to start chatting with him, spending some time together. We're going to ignore that giant TV right there. And yeah, so she is kind of schmoozing him, talking, you know, as a friend, and then throwing in little flirts here and there, kind of, you know, not surprising him, but like, you know, doing a sandwich, right? Friendly romance, friendly, like, you know, and then it just kind of starts escalating, and then there's more romance than friendly, and everything just kind of gets out of hand. And I don't think that Amos is necessarily a bad guy. I mean, obviously he's cheating on his fiance and that makes him a bad guy, but he I don't think he like came out with the intention to do this with her, you know. He's probably maybe a little naive about her inviting him out like that, but yeah. So I don't think he initially intended for something like this to happen, but it's happening. And I'm just going to add a little something into this build. So I'm going to let them mess around in the closet. There they go. Oh my gosh. So while he is... Okay, you know what? I'm thinking kind of like an Anthony Bridgerton situation where like he gets around, he does whatever he wants, but then does the whole, well, I have honor, I'm a gentleman in certain aspects, but not all. So anyway, they just messed around in the closet, and you guys, when I clicked on her romance, try for baby is now grayed out. You know what that means. It means that she's pregnant. So she is pregnant, and you know what? I'm sure she intended to baby trap him from the start. She was like, if I get pregnant, he's going to have to marry me because I have the future king in my stomach or whatever. And oh my gosh, yes, she has just tried. She's going to succeed. I mean, in stealing her best friend's man because that she's pregnant. So Elizabeth is now coming over. I think that Amos is the kind of gentleman where he immediately, you know, confessed to Elizabeth that he did this with someone else. I think he doesn't really like that his dad kind of didn't really care about his mom's feelings or anything. So he told Elizabeth, and he's like, look, I'm sorry, but the truth is that I, you know, woohooed with Katerina, and I'm sorry. Like he's going to confess right away, but basically Elizabeth is going to come over here and start, you know, yelling at Katerina, how could you do this to me? We're supposed to be best friends. Like, you totally broke girl code. You have tried to ruin my life, steal my fiance. I was supposed to, or like, technically Amos and Elizabeth haven't broken up yet, but I'm sure once that everybody finds out about the pregnancy that Katerina is going to have to marry him. But basically Elizabeth is like, why are you trying to ruin my life? Like, I'm supposed to be a queen and all this stuff. And so, oh, a fire. Great. What's on fire at the kitchen? The kitchen's on fire. Can you all not stand that close in that tiny, tiny room to a fire? Anyway, yeah. So Elizabeth and Katerina had a falling out. They are no longer friends. Um, Amos confessed to the at least may not have confessed to the woohoo, but he definitely confessed to something happening. So, um, yeah. And Katerina is, even though I think that she is feeling sad at the loss of a friendship, she she wants to be a queen. She wants to get the status and the future and everything. And so after a few days, she kind of realizes that, she's nauseous. She's not, maybe she missed her monthly, So she's going to come and talk to her father because each day is 3 months, right? So she's going to come talk to her father and tell him that she thinks she's pregnant. And he's like, is this like last time where you thought you were pregnant? Also, Katerina, haven't you learned not to woohoo before marriage by now? But, he has a soft spot for his kids and their mistakes. So she's basically like, well, I think I'm pregnant and he's engaged to someone else. What am I going to do? And Gabriel's, of course, like, well, I will 100% handle it for you. But he's like, make sure that you're actually pregnant before I go and scream at another young man. So, yeah, she's telling Gabriel because she knows that Gabriel will fix it for her. She knows that Gabriel will probably insist. He's an earl. He'll probably insist on a marriage and, protecting his daughter, her reputation and everything. So there's that. And then the kids are just hanging out, and Katerina and Nicholas kind of have a really funny sibling relationship where they got to go back and forth between being mean to each other and being friendly. So there is that. And then we are going to actually wait until it's a respectable time. I don't know why Sibley cares so much about her charisma or her debate skill or whatever it is, but we are going to have her family come over. So keep in mind, her family, they were planning on kind of manipulating the new queen and using hers and Sibley's psychic powers in order to manipulate the status quo and everything. And Sibley was sick of all that, and so she left. So her sister Em is going to come over to kind of try and convince her to come back. Like, you don't understand. It's not, you don't have, like, she's like, you don't even have to do anything. Why did you come here? Like, we're sisters. And then she tries to throw a drink on her. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, I think that her and her sister are arguing, and definitely, like, Sibley is like, no, just leave me alone, get out. I don't want to be a part of this family anymore. I don't want to be part of this situation anymore. And so Nicholas hears that something's going on, and he comes up and he's like trying to defend her. Like, he comes up and he starts, saying to Em, like, you get out of my house, like, leave Sibley alone. He's being very protective, and we'll have him mock her psychic powers. And then she says, oh, like, the spirits will, like, get back at you for that or something. And so they're arguing, and she basically tells him, and, she basically tells him that, your family is going to be in danger again, because we know that the plague is coming up. So I'm going to say that she foresaw the plague, and she's just going to be like, something is coming, and you're going to wish that you had my help, and your family won't remain unscathed this time. Like, she's basically predicting that, people in their family are going to die and stuff. And so it's really freaky. And Nicholas is like, oh my gosh, and just get out of my house. And then Katerina did start showing her pregnancy. So it's official, and she's going to, have Gabriel insist, next time on a marriage between her and Amos. And then also, I did pause her pregnancy because I don't want to have her, I don't want to have her have the baby before they get married, and I just don't have time to get them married before, like, the end of this year and then the beginning of next year. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pause her pregnancy so that we can later get them married before the baby's born. Then I'm going to have, since Sibley wants to go on a get-to-know-you date with Nicholas, I'm going to have them come over here and go to the restaurant for their date, although it is raining, which is unfortunate. But, they've been getting much closer lately, and they've been, spending more time together, and they're definitely falling in love with each other. And so I think Nicholas wants to kind of clear the air with Sibley. You know, he's awfully protective of her, and he feels very strongly about her and everything. And so he is going to tell her about him and Isaac. He's going to confess that. Why are you standing right next to my table eating your food? Seriously. But anyway, so he's going to confess to her about his whole situation with Isaac and everything, and she's a little taken aback by it. But, you know, he's basically telling her, like, hey, I just want you to know that, you know, I I used to really think I was in love with someone else, and you know, that faded away, that changed for me, and I just want to be completely transparent with you because I'm falling in love with you and I really like you and I do want to marry you, even if it's, you know, just an arrangement. And he's just kind of telling her all this and saying, like, but I just want you to know that, you know, I had something with someone else, and it was Isaac, and it was really hard for me, and I went through a lot about it, and I just, you know, around the same time we were, you know, meeting each other for the first time and everything. And so it's just, you know, he's just kind of trying to tell her about his history and everything, not to like make her feel bad or anything, but to just kind of tell her, you know, what has gone on in his life, and especially his love life, that has made him feel certain ways, and that he is trying to take it a little slower with her, but it's hard because he has such strong feelings for her. Anyway, birthdays. We have Gareth Heredia II becoming an infant, Barnabas Hobart becoming an infant, Richard Hobart II becoming a toddler, Giles Heredia passing away, and Wyman Whitehead becoming a young adult. So that is the decade all wrapped up. We will have a recap video next time. Very exciting, and I hope you are excited for the next decade. I'm scared for the plague. We also have some really important birthdays coming up next year, so stay tuned, and I'll catch you in the next one.